All right, guys, welcome to episode 3 of Marketplace Gems Lowballers. We really should extend that title a lot further, but we'll just leave it the way it is because there's so much that can happen on a daily basis. It's great. This week has been non-stop for me. And we literally could probably sit here for the next 2 hours just discussing the absolute craziness that I've dealt with so far this last week. But we'll give you the trimmed down version at the best. So, what we will start out with is last week we decided we were going to keep my 1999 Volkswagen TDI Beetle and fix the car. Why did we decide to do that? I can tell you why. I found an absolute deal on a 99 identical TDI 5-speed Beetle. The car was wrecked and was just a parts car is all it really was worth. Called the guy, talked to him about it. It was about a 2-hour drive away from here, but it had a really nice interior in it, decent miles, a lot of new parts on the motor. And the guy told me, he's like, you know what, I want this thing out of here. He was asking $800 for it. He's like, I'll tell you what, if you come this week, $500 cash, you can have it. I said, buddy, you got a deal. I'll come get that thing. And so anyways, the wheels were in motion on that. And I told him I would come down on Sunday to pick the car up. I don't have a trailer anymore. I got rid of mine. So I made a schedule with U-Haul here in town and reserved one for that Sunday. And I ended up borrowing my niece's pickup truck as well, which was about a half-hour drive approximately from my house. And on my way back, the guy contacts me and says, hey, it's raining quite heavily down here. Maybe we would like to reschedule for another day. And I looked up, and sure enough, it was storming quite heavily in his area. So I said, you know what, dude, no problem. I said, we can reschedule, for the following Saturday, which would be today. The reason why we didn't want to mess with it in the rain is because when the car was in an accident, the rear axle had been damaged in the car. He had pulled the rear axle out of the car. It was going to be a little bit of a headache to get it loaded onto the trailer. I'm sure you get it. Anyways, fast forward the clock, day later, he messages me and he says, I know you're going to be really upset at me, but I decided to keep the car. I found a couple of broken wires and the car is running now, and I'd rather just keep it. Now, not saying anybody's a liar, because I'm not, but let's be honest, probably what actually happened is somebody else offered him more money than I did, which in theory, he's the one that actually lowered his own price just to get the car out of there. Thought that was kind of a crummy deal, but you know what? It is what it is. Again, this is Facebook Marketplace. Am I really surprised? Absolutely not. This is just like a common occurrence, it seems like, every day of the week. And so after that, I was like, well, maybe we'll just sell mine and get rid of it. I was a little discouraged at that point. And I knew what the fiasco was going to be reposting this car. So I threw it on for, I think, a day or two tops, something like that. And I was just like, this is too much. We had, let's see, first one right off the bat was a repeat message from McKenna. And this is on my Beetle again. How many miles are on the car? Well, if you took even 10 seconds to look at the ad, it clearly states the miles on the car. But then again, it's Facebook Marketplace. I expect this. Whatever. The next one is from, I'm not sure how to say the name, Killian. Can I come in 2 weeks to see it? That 2 weeks will come and go and you'll never hear from this guy, right? Just saying. Next we have Josh. $500 cash. That speaks for itself. I literally could add this guy to like 50 other people that have asked me that, And truth be told, the junkyard right down the road offered me more. So, okay. And anyways, then we come to, and I've had this question many times, and I don't understand why. Jacob asks me, how do you know the turbo is bad? Well, I've bought, sold, traded, worked on cars since the age of like 13. I'm 40 now. Trust me, if I'm telling you the turbo is bad, the turbo is bad. I mean, the bearings were shot in this turbo. I mean, you literally could hear them. On top of that, the seals on the turbo were bad. And to begin with, I think in the first ad initially, I even described why the turbo was bad. And I still was having people ask me, how do you know the turbo is bad? Just trust me, the turbo is bad. If you don't want to take my word for it, that's fine. I'll sell you the car, and you can figure it out on your own. I'll lie to you and tell you that turbo is just fine. Anyways, so after all that is concerned, I decided to do the right thing. I jumped online and I bought a brand new turbo for my Beetle. Actually, it was fairly inexpensive. And hey, how's it going? I ordered a new turbo, and apparently they're integrated with the manifold. It was only like $380, something like that. It wasn't too bad, even though the car is probably only worth a few hundred more than that. But that's fine, you know. So we're really gonna take a leap of faith here and see how this works out. The last guy that's supposed to fix this car for the last 3.5 fucking years took my money, never touched the car. Not singling anybody out, however, the truth is the truth. I didn't have the time to work on the car at that point in time. I now have the time, but to be honest with you, really don't want to work on it. I'm just not a fan of working on tight spaces. I get frustrated with that stuff and I end up damaging things. It's just not my fancy. So what I ended up doing is I jumped on the old Facebook Marketplace and I found mobile mechanics in my area. Found a guy that lives about 10-15 minutes away. He says, you know what? He goes, I love the ALH motors. I will gladly do the turbo kit on that thing. $300 and I'll do the turbo swap. Now the real fun part is going to be A, does he actually show up? B, does he show up and actually do the job like he says he's going to do? Or C, is he going to just blow it off altogether and get nothing accomplished? And then we'll find like 5 other more mobile mechanics and see if we can get somebody to do it. This should be pretty interesting, and I will gladly let you know what ends up happening. The new turbo is supposed to be here next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I talked to the guy last night. He said that probably Wednesday, Thursday next week, he should be free to do it. So let's see if the guy actually pulls through. This is going to be interesting here. And then another thing to run off on here is I actually came across a red TDI Beetle 5-speed about an hour away from me for $550. The guy put on there, it has no title. The front bumper cover was missing off in it. The headlights were missing. But I was like, you know what? It'd be a great little extra parts car to have laying around. It's cheap, you know. I was like, I'll take it. I messaged the guy literally within probably 20 minutes of being posted. And I asked him, I said, look, buddy, I said, I know you're about an hour away. I said, I'll give you what you want for the car if you just drop it off. And he goes, if you pay me to deliver it, I will. I said, look, I'll throw you another $50 to bring the car and just drop it off. I'm not even going to hound you about anything. Just bring it, drop it off, done deal. Reads it, ignores it. I mean, if you needed a few more bucks, whatever, dude. I mean, is it really that big a deal? But apparently, Instead of doing that, it's 3 days later, the car is still posted for sale. I'm sure there's a lot more problems to it, he just didn't want to say anything. And as we had talked about, he ended up changing the listing description. Apparently there's a bunch of shit spray painted all over the car, and the interior's missing out of it for the exception of the front seats. So I think we now know why he didn't just take the offer and drop it off, because he neglected to mention a bunch of other problems with the car. But today is Saturday, and it's still on there for sale, unless today's Friday? Sorry, today's Friday, my bad. Good thing I've got my right-hand man here to let me know, because I have special needs sometimes. One more thing that I want to mention here is I came across, and my buddy Jim cringed at the idea, because I always find the oddest, ugliest, shittiest vehicles on Marketplace to buy. I don't know why, they're just attracted to me. I came across a 1982 Olds Tornado. And if anybody knows those cars, they are hideous. I mean, ugly. I mean, definitely not desirable. But in my world, they can be a little bit. And to make this thing 10 times worse, it has the Olds 350 diesel in it. I know. The biggest and worst diesel engine, in my opinion, ever made. It hasn't ran since like 91, 92, something like that. I had it on Marketplace for $1,200. I offered him $6 for it. Yeah, I know. I'm being a lowballer myself. However, the only difference is the guy had in his ad, "I want this gone." And truth be told, I asked him ahead of time, what's the best price you would do? And he said $700. No, $750. And I said, I got an extra $600, buddy. I'll take it off your hands. He said, I will get back to you. Well, it's now Friday, almost a week later. Never heard nothing back. Now the car's been marked pending ever since. So, yeah, that's how Marketplace has been treating me this week. And it seems like every time I click on something, 5 minutes later, it's marked sold for some weird reason, or they just never get back to me. And I know I see people talking about it all the time. You message people, they read it, they never reply. I mean, do you want to sell anything, or you just have it on there for attention? You know, I'm not sure. But it seems to be just, you know, you would think if somebody wants to sell something, they'd gladly get back to you, or at least in a timely manner, you know, or, hey, I'm busy right now, I'll get back to you a little bit. Not a problem. But I don't know, it just seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. And, you know, the people have gotten very, very rude at answering things. And now Facebook Marketplace has that review ordeal they've been doing for a year or so now. And you see the reviews on some of these people's Marketplace profiles, and you know, you realize it ain't just you, it's a lot of people going through the problem. But anyways, enough chitter chatter from me. Got a couple things Brad's gonna go over, and I'm gonna take a break for a minute.
Okay. Like you said, he likes odd, unique cars. In the past, we've talked about Pacers and Gremlins, and we came across a Pacer in Kenosha, kind of randomly sitting in a parking lot, and parked really close to a truck, a van.
Yeah, I don't know if the dude was living out of this truck and trailer, what the deal was. I'm not sure.
It was kind of all scary, I guess.
That was
Following up.
That was Bluegill, I named it. I always nicknamed my cars. He was a 1976 AMC Pacer.
Yeah, it was kind of all strange, just randomly sitting there, and
I think that actually was a building at one time, and they tore the building down, and the concrete was what was the car was sitting on.
And we just seen a for sale sign and pulled up and asked the guy, and the car actually ran and drove, and the guy he bought the car and delivered it a few days later.
Yeah, he did drop it off a couple days later, which was nice of him, yes.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
It actually was only like 2 blocks away from the original AMC plant in Kenosha,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool.
It was pretty nice. And then we few years ago went and looked at, or he spotted looked at Olds Tornado.
It was a Trofeo edition, I think is how you pronounce it, the luxury class.
Looked at some pictures on Marketplace, and the pictures were really decent. The car looked great.
The car looked showroom quality.
Yeah.
It really did.
I seen them, and we drove.
It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yep, it was quite a ways away.
With a trailer.
Yes, to like a tow lot. And when we got there, the car was under a tarp.
Windows were down, I think, in it too, or something.
Yeah, about halfway. And when we removed the tarp, the car was full of dents. A window was smashed. There was, the car was covered in mold. It looked nothing like the pictures. The pictures looked about 10 years previous to what the car actually was. I think we got catfished. At least he did.
Catfished by a car. I didn't even know that was possible. That's a good valid point you got. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
the car literally looked like it was aged by like 20 years compared to the pictures.
Yes. And then when we get some snow in this area in Walworth County, and so we tend to buy snowmobiles here. When you don't have a trailer, we suggest you rent one. That way you save from smashing out the back window in your dad's pickup truck, like this jackass did.
Hey, it was an accident.
It may have been an accident, but he did it.
Truth be told, though, the rear bumper of that snowmobile literally just touched that rear window, and I mean touched it, and it exploded everywhere. And I mean, it just literally was like, and it just kaboom, blew up. So
It was an older pickup.
yeah, it was like a 20-year-old S10.
And then he had an old police car,
That was a 2000 or 2001 P71 Crown Vic, yeah.
and he tends to beat on his cars, the older ones anyway. And people were complaining that he was beating on it. So he decided to post a video of himself doing a massive burnout.
Well, technically, they didn't complain about it until after I posted the video of it.
Okay.
Because I had it for sale for $2,000. The car ran and drove fine.
It did?
Nobody wanted to buy it. I put a really nice dual exhaust system on it. It sounded great.
It did. It was really nice. And so we posted this video doing a massive burnout,
Oh, yeah.
which was great. And he wound up selling the car the next day.
Yeah, I had a bunch of messages because I redid the ad on Marketplace the day I did that massive burnout with it. And I had tons of people leaving comments and texts and whatnot telling me, that's a great way to sell that fucking car, out beating the shit out of it and showing everybody that you beat the shit out of it. But oddly enough, the next day, some guy came and bought the car. So you tell me, was it right or was it wrong? I don't know.
That's all I have for today.
Yeah. So, hey, you know, I mean, I look at it like this. It's my car. It's my property. If I want to beat the living fuck out of it, I don't see why I can't. And honestly, when I did the video of me doing a massive burnout with it, I had more messages of people that actually were interested in it. It's kind of interesting how it works, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And another weird thing about that squad car, I had everybody trying to buy the taillights out of the back of it. They were some aftermarket LED taillights or something. I don't know. I don't care. You know, to me it's just an old squad car, but everybody wanted the taillights out of the thing. And it had a really nice set of aftermarket American Muscle rims that were on it. Real nice tires. And everybody wanted those wheels. And I told them, I was like, well, I said, if you want to give me an extra $500, I'll throw in the wheels on the car. But nobody wanted to throw in the extra $500 for them, so I still have them. And I put them on my kid's Mustang, and they look great. I mean, you can't beat that for $500. That's why I kept them. So, but anyways, I think probably next week, Friday, Saturday, something like that, we should have a pretty good idea on the story on this Beetle. I'm hoping, realistically, I am hoping that it works out great. Am I expecting it to? Not really. But I do have that glimmer of hope that it's going to work out. And if the guy that's going to do this work sees this video, I promise I'm not trying to shit on you. I just don't have faith in a lot of people, especially when there's money involved. Everybody seems to try to scam everybody out of things. You know, nobody's honest about things. Well, a few people are, but most people are lying, hiding, you know, whatever the case may be about things. And yeah, so anyways, take care, guys, and we'll see you next week. If you find anything interesting on Marketplace that you need to buy, or you think I need to buy to add to my junk collection, send us a chat and leave a comment below, and have a good weekend, guys. And don't forget, comment on Brad's outfit. He's a rock star Fred Flintstone today. He's loving it. He had a cowboy hat on, but he took it off. Yeah, see, there it is. There you go. Texas Fred. You gotta love it. Anyways, take care, guys. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.